if you will, please mute when you're until we get to the question and answer section, and then we will be able to answer everybody's questions as to the best of our ability. All right. So the first off, thank you all for coming and joining us today. I know we've had quite a few things going on within the community, and we're working on some new programs and some new opportunities. And one of them is our Brivo system. So we wanted to introduce everybody to the system. We actually have been in it. We have been using it for a while for staff and through for our security team. So a quick agenda of kind of what we're going to go through tonight. We're going to do a brief introduction to Brivo. What is Brivo? Why are we implementing it? And then we'll go through the steps before we can start the process, and what will happen once we've got everything rolled out. And then we'll go through kind of the timeline that we're anticipating, as well as some of the additional options or some of the options that we have for the system, as well as some of the expectations we can have for the use of the system and the access devices. And then at the end, we will follow up with a question and answer session. So getting started off here, what is Brivo? Brivo is our access control system. So this software manages all of our gates throughout the community, and it also manages the magnetic door locks and that we have. So all of our vehicle gates utilize Brivo system, which is where we have the vehicle gates and the car tags. We also, and for those, if you're just joining us, please mute until we get to the question and answer section, so that we don't get that reverb. Allison, can you help us?
Pat.
Oh, there we go. Yeah. Hey, not a problem, not a problem. This is the joys. We're trying a new system, but we wanted everybody to be able to view what was going on and be able to see each other as well and interact. The Brivo controls the gates opening and closing. It also controls the doors throughout the community, throughout our amenities that have magnetic door locks. We do have there are two on the Welcome Center, one on Independence Hall. Those ones will come into play later on down the road. But right now, what we're going to be focusing on is the three gates at the outdoor pool, the main entrance to the indoor pool, and the main entrance to the fitness center on the ground level. Down the road, once the golf club has moved or has been built and is moved, Grand Central will be brought into the system as well. In the meantime, those doors will just remain unlocked for residents to be able to utilize at any time. So why are we implementing Brivo? We have been utilizing Brivo since the beginning, primarily with the vehicle gates. So we're now bringing on another module of this program that it will allow us to provide a little more flexibility for residents, while eliminating it'll help us to eliminate access to facilities and the amenities by non-residents without being accompanied by a resident. So this will help, especially in the pools and the fitness center. We won't have any unauthorized guests entering the pools anymore. Everybody within the community will have the opportunity to have access to the pools. And with the flexibility, you won't have to wait for a staff member to come down and open the doors first thing in the morning. The system will automatically set up so that at 6 o'clock in the morning, the doors will remain locked, but with your Brivo access device, you'll be able to enter the facilities and utilize those. So why are we implementing it now? Again, we have had it in place for a while, but we wanted to bring on this component because we are starting to relax the COVID restrictions a little bit more, and the occupancy levels of the amenities are at a level that we're not too worried about the fact that we need to track everybody that's coming in and have everybody sign in. And it'll eliminate the manual tracking. The system has the ability to let us know who has entered the facility at any time, if we need to go back and look at that. It doesn't tell us when people leave, just tells us when they come in. So these are some of the reasons we wanted to start trying to get more opportunities for residents to just show up whenever they need to, and not have to worry about whether the gate's
Hello,
going to be
today we are
closed.
going to discuss how to download the
I apologize. Let me kick back real quick here if I can. The next piece, the video started a little bit before I wanted it to. So the next piece of it is before we launched this program and the access devices, I wanted to give a little bit of an update. We have our Brivo mobile pass. This is a mobile app that's on your phone that uses your Bluetooth and will allow you to uh, access without any having to carry anything more than what you already do with your mobile phone. So Allison has done a great job of putting together a short little 30-second clip to kind of show you how to download the app if you need to. She uses the Apple her Apple phone, but it's a very similar process for the Android devices. So I'm going to play this for you real quick.
Hello, today we are going to discuss how to download the Brivo mobile pass app onto your phone. The first step is to find your app store, which on an iPhone will look like the blue app that you see on the top left of my screen. You're going to click inside of there, and then in the search bar, you're going to search Brivo mobile pass. And then it's going to be the first one that you see on the top of my screen, and you're going to click inside of there. And instead of the blue cloud, you should have a button that says Get, and you're going to click that, and it will begin downloading your app.
Pretty simple and straightforward. We highly encourage everybody to download the app before we launch. It'll make life a lot easier because once you get, there will be an email that comes out in a little bit later, and it'll make it so much easier for you to get your mobile pass activated. On the next screen is the activation. Once I switch over to it, it's going to start another short video that'll show you how to activate that or activate it once that email has been sent out.
Hello, today we are going to discuss how to download the Brivo mobile pass app onto your phone. The first step is to find your app store, which on an iPhone will look like the blue app that you see on the top left of my screen. You're going to click inside of there, and then in the search bar, you're going to search Brivo mobile pass. And then it's going to.
There you go. I apologize. It restarted over again rather than skipping to the next one. Here's the correct one here. Let me get that started for you.
Hello, and welcome to your Kissing Tree Brivo mobile pass tutorial. Today I'm going to walk you through getting set up with the Brivo mobile pass app. The first step in getting started is finding the email from Brivo. If you can't find it, please check your junk or spam folders. The email is from Brivo Mobile Pass at brivo.com, as you can see on the screen. The inside of your email should look like this. If you've already downloaded the Brivo Mobile Pass app, you can skip this step that I'm about to go through, and we'll go back to this email again in a second. But if you have not, you can download the app on the Apple App Store if you have an Apple iPhone, or if you have a Samsung phone, you can get it on Google Play as well. I'm on an Apple iPhone, so I am going to go through the Apple App Store right now, and I will show you guys how we do that. So I'll click download on the App Store, and it'll show up with the Brivo Mobile Pass screen. Yours will say Get instead of that blue cloud, and you'll click that, and it'll begin to load and download your app onto your phone. It may come up asking for your credentials for whatever service you're using, and so you'll just put that in, and it'll begin to download your app. Once the app is downloaded, it'll come up with this little button that says open, and you'll click that, and it will ask you a couple of questions and prompt you. And so the most important one is Bluetooth, because the Brivo Mobile Pass requires Bluetooth to unlock the doors. you're going to press OK. And you are also, for this one, you can press allow or don't allow. I'm going to press don't allow. And I'm going to, for the location, say allow while using app. To go back to the Bluetooth is very important because it's how you open your doors. So you're going to want to check on your iPhone by going to your system settings like this and ensure that your Bluetooth is on. This button right here is your Bluetooth button, and you want to make sure that it's highlighted and it says Bluetooth connections enabled, and that means that your pass will work. The first thing I'm going to do is press get started. And so it says that you can either add your credentials from your email invitation or you can enter them manually, which is also in your email. And I will show you that now. So once we're back to this email, you can either press add my pass where it says I have the application, which you now do, or you can enter your pass ID and your passcode that's down here at the bottom, which should be your email and the passcode that they give you. This code does expire in 72 hours if it's not redeemed. And if you miss that 72-hour window, you'll have to contact the Kissing Tree front desk, but to allow them to reset it for you. So I'm going to press add to Brivo Pass under add my pass, and I will press open in Brivo Pass, and it will pull up this. It says success, your pass has been added. I'm going to press OK, and then this is choosing your favorite doors. You're going to want to make sure that Kissing Tree is clicked, and you're going to press save. This should load your Brivo pass, and it'll say Kissing Tree. And whenever you press Kissing Tree, it'll come up with all of your passes. And so you can set up your Face ID by clicking right here, and it'll ask, do you want to allow Brivo Pass to use Face ID? And this can, if depending on what iPhone you have it, you can either be your Face ID, it can be your fingerprint, or you can have it just be a 4-digit passcode. But we're going to use our Face ID, and so I'm going to press OK and enter in my Face ID. And so that will set up my Face ID. And then whenever I'm either at the fitness center, the swim center, or the depot, and I see one of those little black boxes, I'll pull up this screen and I'll press Kissing Tree, and that will pull up my passcode. However, I have it set up, and it will unlock the door for me once I click that. Right now, I'm not next to a black box. That's why it said unable to connect. If you get that unable to connect orange screen, it's either because you're not close enough to a black box, your Bluetooth is not on, or it's after normal operating hours. And these will only unlock amenity doors when they are open. So if you have any of those issues, you'll want to check those 3 things.
All right. So kind of runs through the process of how to use it as well. The little black box that she's talking about, you'll see at the indoor pool. It'll be to the left. It typically has a little flashing light at the top. The fitness center, it'll be just to the right of the door. And at each of the pools, it's right there on the gate locks. So with the pass, it is fairly easy to use. But as we're going through, I want to share. We're going to be sharing a little bit more information about the pass and the processes for it. So coming over here, so starting off with the timeline that we're anticipating, we are going to start the distribution of the emails that have that access or have the pass ID and the pass code. One thing to keep in mind, if you do decide to enter it manually, the pass ID and the pass code are both case sensitive. So keep that in mind if you decide to do it manually. We will begin the distribution Monday, November 8th, and we will have staff available throughout the first week to help with the distribution of the access devices and to help with the setup of the Brivo mobile pass. After that first week, our front desk staff will be able to assist you further, and we have trained all of the staff members how to do this. So if you're out and about and you see somebody, all of the staff members should be able to assist with helping get this set up. We we're really pushing that 72 hour. You've got to try and get it once that email comes through, getting that your Brivo mobile pass set up within that 72 hours. That is unfortunately not something that we were able to change. We asked Brivo if they would be able to extend it to give us a little bit more time, but that is their system. That is a system function that with that 72 hours. With the facility schedule for we're going to start the distribution on Monday, November 8th. We will continue to have the free access from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. daily, with sign-in still required. On November 15th, we are going to go live with the system, where the magnet locks will remain locked from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. and you will need your Brivo access device to access the amenities on beginning November 15th. Just as a reminder, that the fitness and swim center hours are 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. and that's when you will be able to utilize that mobile pass. If you come at 5:58, it won't let you in. At 6 o'clock, it'll let you in. So kind of continuing on with some of the additional information, all residents will be able to have an access device. We have Brivo mobile passes free for all residents. That will be distributed by via email. And we do have, for those people that do not have smartphones, we do have access cards. Because of the cost of setup and all of that, it is a $50 charge up front. With the access cards, there will not be a Brivo mobile pass issued to that individual, and the card will be specific to an individual resident, and it will have the name of the resident, the address, and the photo. Just as we were mentioning before, this system is intended to help keep those that are not residents out of the facilities unless they're accompanied by a resident. So staff may request to see your Brivo mobile pass or an access card at any time just to verify the proper usage of the devices. And who are we considering a resident? Any person occupying a home within Kissing Tree for a minimum of 6 months is considered a resident. We do need to have that resident listed on your age verification survey. If you've got somebody living with you that you know is going to be there for quite a while, but they haven't been put on your age verification survey, please reach out to the front desk. They can get you a new fresh survey for you to fill out and add those people. We also do need to have a facility usage waiver on file with the association. At this point, we do have almost everybody in the community has that. If you're not certain, reach out to our front desk, and they can check the system or check our database to make sure we've got one for you. One thing to keep in mind, this is a big one, is especially in the fitness center and the pools, all guests must be accompanied by a resident at all times. Access device, if we identify an access device of a resident being used by a guest without that resident present, we will deactivate it. And then that resident will need to come speak with the executive director, myself while I'm still here, or the new executive director when that time comes, and we'll need to pay a fee to have it reactivated. We're doing this because we want to make sure that all of our guests have their that are accompanied by a resident, that we have the proper forms on file for them as well. And also, so that way our residents have the priority of utilizing our facilities. All right, so now, please, if you are able to, I'm going to take this off of the presentation mode, so that we can, so that way, we can start having some questions come in. If you look up at the top, you'll see there's a little chat, or there's a little face with a hand up. If you raise your hand, you can click on that or hover over that, and there's a little hand that says raise your hand. If you click on that, it'll pull you to the top of the screen so that we can call on you. And it looks like we do have we do have a question that's come through. Let me see if I can, trying to get to the, all right, that's the participant list. Let me check the chat. All right. So first question is, the demo said that you can only open the door if the door is unlocked. Is that correct? So there is a schedule for the doors to be open from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. You'll only be able to open the doors during that time frame. So yes, and Allison, we can work to try and clarify that a little bit. Uh, it looks like we've got a couple hands raised here. Um, I'm For some reason, it's not letting me see who's got their hand raised. Let me see if I can. Let me see if I'm able to find out who it is. If you've got your hand raised, Bill and Katie Sprague. Uh, if you've got a question.
Yeah, it's a Bill Bragg. My question is there any chance that we could get one of these pass locks, like on the door, where we could get coffee, say Saturday or Sunday morning, before the mix opens up?
Unfortunately, the that those doors were not wired for the system, and it would actually be a significant expense and we'd have to tear apart some of the walls to be able to rewire it. So that unfortunately is a no. So the way that the buildings were designed, I did ask questions. I did ask about that previously, if we would be able to add to future areas. There are a handful of areas that it would be easy, but the um, fitness center, sales center, Independence Hall, and indoor pool, their design is a little bit of a challenge. We do have they did wire in advance for the upstairs door at the fitness center. So at some point in the future, when it's that one may come online as well. We have added it at Grand Central for all three of those spaces. So once the club has moved into the clubhouse, those will become spaces for the community that we'll be able to have accessible through this with the system. I saw a hand raised from, I want to say it was Katie. Let me see if I can find you again. It was it Katie or was it Heidi? There's somebody else that had their hand raised for a second and then it went away. Um, Whoever it was that had another question, there you go. All right, it was Anne Laguerre. Um, Go ahead and ask your question. You may have to unmute you there.
Sorry, I
And
forgot my microphone. I'm sorry.
hey, no problem, no problem.
Okay, just quick question. We're just starting the build process and we were told we could have access to the amenities, and it looks like now we can't because we aren't in a home for 6 months.
Well, because we have a contract for you, that's one of the exceptions. If we have a signed, executed contract for a home, that is considered you being being a resident for at least 6 months. So once we have that executed contract, we will be able to get you set up for that.
And another question, let's say that we have visitors, let's say a married couple or something, and we don't necessarily want to go to the pool. We cannot send them to the pool with our pass?
Unfortunately, that is correct. We do require that there is a resident present whenever there's a guest at the facilities or at the amenities.
Thank you.
Absolutely. All right. Is there any more questions? All right. I see.
Hey, Skylar, there's one in the chat.
Oh, there's one in the chat. Let me pull over real quick. Will this work for walkers re-entering through the McCarty gate? It does not. It will not work for the vehicle gates. We have started the process of getting proposals to see if we can bring the pedestrian gates online with this. We're hoping if once we get that proposal, if it looks good and it's reasonable, we will be adding that to all of the pedestrian gates. There's one at the front gate, there's one by the pond on Center Point, and there's one at the McCarty gate. So that is something we are working on, and hopefully if all goes well, we should be able to have that by early next year. And I see one, but it just says wood as
Yes,
person.
can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Okay, my question is, I thought this meant that the fitness center was going 24 hours a day and you could access it anytime. That is not the situation. Is that correct?
That is correct. We sent out a survey as we were getting ready to open the facilities, asking what people's preferences for the hours were, and we set those hours based off of what the majority answer, or the majority response that we received. I apologize. I will say that is something that we are looking at with the management team. We have received quite a few inquiries about adjusting some of the hours for some of the facilities. So we're working on putting together something so that we can or a little survey that we can send out to everybody to get a little bit more feedback on that as well. And with that survey we'll include the fitness and center and pool hours. We'll include the Independence Hall. We'll include some of the classes, like when people might be more interested in having classes and things like that. So we're going to try and find send that out with information related to different things related to times of the amenities and activities throughout the community. All right. Is there any other questions? We've got Judy Scholl. You may have to unmute yourself, Judy.
In my microphone.
Oh, there you go.
I'm not living there yet, and if I don't come out next week, can someone help me just anytime?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So our front desk team knows how to set it up. If you're not able to get it set up while you're not here, one of our team members will be able to help you once you get to this get on property. All right. Any other questions? We got Rodney Unruh.
Yeah. Hey, okay. So just to make it simple, once you download the app, I know you said that there's a tutorial. Once you download the app, we're going to get something. What's the next step? I mean, real simple. Just
real
download
simple.
the app, get the password, and when do we get it now?
So those will start getting distributed beginning next week. Should be starting on Monday. We'll start seeing those coming through. And then within 72 hours of receiving that email, if you've got that app downloaded, you should be able to just click on the Add My Pass in the email from your phone, if you've got it on your phone, and it'll add it. If you don't have your email on your phone, there's that down at the bottom you saw where it says Pass ID and passcode.
Right.
On the app, you'll say no thanks. I think it says no thanks. I'll add myself, or I'll manually add it. You can input that information, case sensitive for both of them. Once that's all set up in the system, you'll only see one or two buttons. I think it says Kissing Tree, and I believe there's one that says Kissing Tree Grand Central. I've got to double check it. But whenever you go if you go to the fitness center or pools, whichever gate or door you're closest to, when you hit that, it will open for you.
Okay.
And then at Grand Central, it'll be the same way.
Okay, so the one email both my wife and I will be able to hit and use.
No, it will only allow you one per person. So
yeah, one per household, or one
per person. So when that mobile pass will get sent out, there will be one email, and it can be it's a one-time use. So if you use the same email, we're still working with the system. We had one situation where it wouldn't let us do two on the same email, but this morning we actually were able to do two on the same email. So working through that, if you have an issue with that, come talk to the front desk and we'll make sure we've got mobile pass for you.
Okay, because we use the same, because I don't like looking at emails. So
yeah, And we should be able, I believe we can set one up or set up two mobile passes with the
Okay.
same email. You would activate one on your phone and she would activate one on hers.
Okay, that's what I need to know. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Is any additional questions? All right. Don and Mabel Hockaday.
Yeah, we just bought it over there. I just wanted to know, what is the problem that this is solving?
This is so this was something that was anticipated and planned to be in place from day one. So we've just taken some time to implement it. We were planning on implementing it when we opened the facilities, or when we opened the pool and the fitness center, but because of the COVID-19 situation, there were some additional restrictions that were in place, and we wanted to make sure that we were able to monitor and maintain that occupancy control. So this was something that was was always planned. The intent behind it is it will make it so that residents will be able to it'll be super easy for those that are able to get in, or it'll be super easy for those, or super easy to get in for those that are allowed to be in, and it'll be very difficult for those that are not. And ideally, this will give every resident ability to enter those facilities, but it will keep non-residents out. We have a lot of golfers that like to kind of poke their head in there from time to time. And Rebecca, she's on here as well. She can attest to every now and then she has to chase out some golfers from the pool areas. And this will help keep them out of those areas and allow that space to be for our residents only. Did that answer your question, Mr. Hockaday? Oh, I think you're muted.
Yes, thank you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I will say I'm excited for this. I know Rebecca's excited for it because it's going to open up the facilities and make it so that her team can focus more on helping our residents when they're out working out and taking care of the facilities, and not making it so that you guys have to wait for them to come in and check in and all of that. Before we end the meeting, I just want to double check and make sure, have we been able to answer everybody's questions so far? And if you do come up with additional questions afterwards, please shoot them off to ktmc@dmbcommunitylife.com. That's our front desk. And they'll make sure that they get an answer for you, whether they come and ask me if they need it. But one way or another, we'll make sure we get those answers for you. We will also post this as well as the tutorials on the website, so that if you've got some friends that weren't able to make it tonight, you can let them know it's going to be up there and share that with them. So before we end, is there anybody else that had some questions?
Hey, this is AJ. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hey, so I just had a question, and that would be, if I do something stupid like lose my phone or break my phone, would I just see somebody at the front desk to get a new code for my new phone so I can reinstall the app?
Absolutely. So
okay.
if you get a new phone, you just talk to the front desk. They'll deactivate the old device,
Okay.
and reissue you a new one.
Right,
That's a super easy process. If you end up with deciding to get one of those cards, if you lose the card, there is a replacement charge for that. It is for a replacement. It is a little less than the initial one. If for some reason that card is taken away or deactivated because of misuse, there is that fee, I believe, is a little bit more. I believe the replacement for a lost card is 25, and the reactivation, if it's misused, I believe is 100.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Is it any other questions that you may have? All right, and just want to let you know we did have a good meeting this morning. We went through everything with the front desk team to make sure they were comfortable. So if you do have questions or you miss that 72-hour period, our front desk will be able to assist you, as well as a good chunk of our staff. I know Anitra will be able to, Rebecca might be able to, myself, and Liz can all help with you help as well. So thank you all so much for participating this evening. I hope this was helpful and informative. I'm hoping that this mobile app is actually a little bit easier to use than the Gate Century one, where you have to input all your guests. This one is just you. You don't have to worry about much more than getting your information in there and then go ahead and have fun utilizing the facilities. So thank you so much. You all have a wonderful evening, and we'll see you around Kissing Tree.
Thank you.